Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Bill from Open Door Baptist Church in Morehead City, and thanks for coming back for another Word of Encouragement. This is a weekday video series that I put out in order to help us all to put our eyes back onto God's words of hope and strength of encouragement, which we find in the Bible, especially during these very difficult and trying times that we're living through. Today, we are going to look at a time in Israel's history that was actually quite prosperous. At this time, in 2 Samuel chapter 7, we find David firmly in control as king. As a matter of fact, David is now living in a wonderful and splendid house himself, and he desires to build a house that is a temple for the Lord, the God of Israel. And God sends a prophet, Nathan, to David with a very special message. And here it is in 2 Samuel chapter 7, beginning in verse 8. Now, therefore, thus you shall say to my servant David, thus says Yahweh of hosts, I took you from the pasture, from following the sheep, that you should be prince over my people Israel. And I have been with you, and wherever you went, and have cut off all your enemies from before you, and I will make for you a great name, like the name of the great ones of the earth. And I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, so that they may dwell in their own place and be disturbed no more, and violent men shall afflict them no more as formerly, from the time that I appointed judges over my people Israel. And I will give you rest from all your enemies. Moreover, Yahweh declares to you that Yahweh will make you a house. When your days are fulfilled and you lie down with your fathers, I will raise up your offspring after you, who shall come from your body, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build me a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Now, of course, on this side of the cross, when we look back through the shadow of the cross to read the Old Testament, we see clearly that the prophecy that Nathan is giving to David on behalf of God, of Yahweh, the creator God of all that is, that this kingdom, which will last forever, is clearly a reference to the Messiah, to the Christ, to Jesus, his kingdom. He is the forever and promised King, first promised to Eve in the garden, and now promised once again, renewed to David. This is phenomenal that David is saying, I want to do something for you, God. And God says, no, don't you understand that it is I who gain all the honor for doing something for you? I am going to bring a house, a forever and eternal house, that is a lineage, right, offspring for you, and I will give them a throne. I will give one of them, an anointed king, a throne forever. You know, there's also something else, however, in this passage that I wanted to point out. And not only are we able to cling to the promise of Jesus as the forever king, but there's also something else that God says in great gentleness and kindness to David. Listen to what he says. He says, I will give you rest. Oh, and isn't that something that we are yearning for today? Rest. Well, I know that you will find promises and you will find rest, but much, much more than that. You will find the eternal King Jesus in the pages of God's words of encouragement. And I hope that you'll come back tomorrow for another